I'll get started. My name is Liliana Stokes and I'm currently working as a Maritime Environmental Regulation Technical Analyst, and this is my slightly crooked pathway into marine science. So early life, I didn't really live close to the sea. I was in quite a landlocked area of England. I was probably about an hour, 2 hours from the coast, but parents had 4 kids, way too busy to take us to the seaside. But thankfully hit jackpot. My grandparents migrated over to Spain in their retirement and lived straight on the sea. And my parents, wanting a break, would just ship us kids out to them for the summer holidays. So I got my experience of water there. But lo and behold, I absolutely hated the sea. I despised it. To me, it was just this big bottomless pit of jaws and like jellyfish that were just going to get me as soon as I stepped in there. So until about the age of 12, I did not go more than waist deep in the water, and I'm not particularly tall. So this was, not a big thing. They got a boat, and if I went out on the boat, I'd sit in the middle and cry. It was not too great. But I did get into it eventually when they introduced me to diving, which they kind of did against my will, but I'm really grateful that they did. So I don't know if anybody remembers 2010 in Egypt, but there were a series of fatal shark attacks. Excellent. There were quite a few. I think it was from mako sharks and oceanic white tips, which are nasty fellows. But my family were like, we're going to Egypt for Christmas, because my grandparents learned to scuba dive in their retirement and wanted to share it with the family, which is so lovely. And I look back now and think what an ungrateful little I was for not appreciating it at the time. But they took us out there. My dad and my sister and my grandparents were all qualified. I was not. So they were like, you're going to do this. And I remember the first kind of few days of that qualification, I was in the swimming pool furious that I was having to do this. Got into the sea on my first dive in a place called Sharks Bay, even more furious. Then I had a nosebleed at the bottom, had a panic attack, got myself out the water. They sorted me out and I was like, I hate this, blah, blah, blah. And the mum was like, let's just go down again. So stroppy 15-year-old me went back down. Thankfully, I did not attract any sharks. I did attract a Napoleon wrasse, biggest thing I've ever seen, called George, who followed me hoping I'd die so that he could munch on me, but that was fine. And after that moment, when I actually started looking at the corals and the fish, I was like, okay, this isn't so bad. I've still got the back fear of being eaten by a shark, but this stuff is so beautiful. It's so distracting. I don't really care. And literally after that traumatic dive, I decided I'm going to be a marine biologist. Had no idea what they do, but I decided there and then, impulsive 15-year-old me, that's what I'm going to do. Got out the water, told my family, and they laughed at me. So didn't go quite so well, but I still tried. So kind of in my GCSEs, I didn't really do anything particularly sciencey. My science extent was core and additional science. Got an A star and an A, so I did all right there. Had a really passionate teacher in my second year of GCSE, and that's the year I learned to dive. So I was like, when I go to college, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do all the sciences. I'm going to go study marine biology. Got to college. I hated every second of it. I wasn't inspired. I didn't feel encouraged. It just was like, ugh, why am I here? And good old sassy teenage me bunked off half the classes. So whilst I had the right A levels, I didn't turn up. So you can see my excellent grades there. So after kind of A levels, I was like, ugh, I'm not going to uni. I hate learning. I'm done with it. And I went and got myself an office job with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. 3 months in, I decided, nope, this is not for me. I'm bored. There's no progression. I'm not being challenged. I missed learning. I missed working. So I got onto UCAS and I submitted my application, I think late, standard me at that time. But nonetheless, I submitted it. But obviously, because I didn't do very well at A level, I'd restricted myself in the universities I could apply for. And I had to look out for those with UCAS point requirements that kind of, they'd be like, you need 280 points, including an A level in biology, which technically I did have at a D grade, so it did count, but obviously I didn't have enough points. But thankfully, I've always been a very extracurricular person. And up until I decided on that dive to be a marine biologist, I wanted to be a professional dancer. And I'd spent my entire life dancing and twirling. And so I'd got some dance exams, which were equivalent to A levels because of the level they were at. So thankfully, my modern and my ballet got me into university. Woo! Fun fact, I was put into a physical oceanography tutor group because they were sure I was going to drop out, but I stuck. So I just had a physical oceanographer for my tutor, which wasn't the most useful, but it was great fun. So I did make it to university, and obviously you're doing a degree, you're getting research experience, communication experience. But not having those A levels and being really paranoid that I was going to fuck up again, quite frankly, excuse my language, I'm so sorry, that's on recording, I'm so sorry. But I just like went out of my way to get every opportunity for volunteering, internships that I could, because I knew I needed that backup, because I didn't have my A levels to fall back on or rely on. So whilst being an incredible, like, Bangor is amazing for marine science, if anybody is considering it, I cannot recommend it enough. But I went in my first year and I volunteered in a whale and dolphin conservation project, because I still wasn't super duper sure which area I wanted to go into. I knew I loved corals, but oh my gosh, when you start learning about marine science, there is so much more than you ever thought you're going to need to know. It's incredible. So that you're literally spoiled for choice. So I went and did some whale and dolphin conservation, which I saved up, worked my weekends on holidays for, which was so much fun to get that interaction with the public, identifying species and getting that first taste of charity work. And then I applied for an internship with one of my professors, which was working on the Chagos Trust. So that was a paid internship. So I was really lucky to get that, because again, it meant I didn't have to save up to do it, because they were paying me to do it. And it was also based in Bangor. It was looking at research and how to help the marine environment, but without actually going there and being invasive. So I was utilising yacht blogs, and I was looking at kind of social media accounts to see how the people were using the marine environment to give the charity an idea of where they needed to put their management strategies, which was really interesting. And then in my third year, I opted for a field course in Virginia with the VIMS Institute for Marine Science, which was amazing. It was just kind of exactly what I would have done in Bangor, but just in a different environment, which really benefited me, seeing, I guess, how a different institute works and the stuff that goes on there. And then for my master's thesis, I went on an internship with the Cayman Islands Department of Environment, again doing some more social kind of like report writing stuff there, similar to the Chagos one, but I was actually interviewing people to get their opinions on the marine environment and see how they utilised it. So it was really good kind of getting that experience with the public, speaking to them, seeing what they liked and didn't like and so on, and then to use that to help management strategies, which was amazing. Since then, so I went back to work for Frontier straight away, and that was to work on a Madagascar research project. I was literally managing coral conservation, turtle conservation, all that sort of stuff, volunteer, teaching, lecturing, analysing. I was kind of my own little boss there, and it was a lovely little bubble to be in for 10 months. But obviously, unfortunately, charity work like that is not a long-term career. So I came back, and I've been working as a maritime analyst, as I said, for a company, One Ocean. Maritime and marine, they do go hand in hand, similar area, but it's just kind of different laws and legislation that overrun the whole maritime side of things. And then literally yesterday, I've just been offered a job as a marine planner with the Marine Management Organisation, which I'm over the moon about. So I'll be moving to Plymouth to help manage the kind of marine areas and resources over there, to see how that goes. Over the moon. And just quickly before I run out there, I've just got a little bit of advice for people thinking to go into it. Do keep up extracurricular activities, whether they're marine related or not. I've done cheerleading and dancing for so long, and I spoke about it in my interview the other week. I thought I was mad, but they said, no, it's okay. That's one of the things they liked, was the leadership and the kind of teamwork strategies I got from there. Take every opportunity, work weekends, work evenings. I worked during my masters until 3 a.m. most nights in a nightclub just to get stuff done so I could afford everything. Well worth it. Don't be complacent. Always look for the next thing, because you never know when you're going to need to make that jump, but don't compare yourself to anybody else. We're all on different journeys. We've all got the same goal to look after and love the sea. So just, support, don't complain. And literally support anybody. If someone asks you a question that you've known for years, they're asking you because they don't know. Take the time to answer and educate them, and hopefully then they're going to help you out when you need to ask for advice as well. Sorry for went over there. But cheers. I know we're doing questions after, so ignore that slide, but here's some of the pretty places I've been.
Thank you so much. That was extremely entertaining. I love the decision at 15 to just like, I'm going to be a marine biologist now. Good that you didn't get eaten by a shark.
Very good. So far, so good. I feel like it's going to happen.